Yat Yachoka Mokshosanam Indriyanam Avapya Bhumav Asapatnam Radham Rajam Suranamapi Charipatyam. Translation: I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to destroy it even if I win an unrivaled kingdom on the earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master, Lord Shri Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence. And it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can only be given by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problems of life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is mastering the signs of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is the real spiritual master. Kiba vipra kiba nyasi shudra kenenai ye Krishna tattavitasi guruhai. It does not matter whether a person is a vipra, learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is mastering the signs of Krishna, he is the perfect and bona fide spiritual master. So without being a master in the signs of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in Vedic literatures, Satkarma nipuna vipra mantra tantra visharada avaishnava guru nasyar vaishnava svapacha guru. A scholarly brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the signs of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. The problems of material existence, birth, old age, disease and death, cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed. Yet the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the signs of Krishna or the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's limitations for family, social, national or international inebrities, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would not be able to drive away his limitations. He sought, therefore, refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysms of material nature. Even elevation into a higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking a place on the moon planet, can also be finished in one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. When the results of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such downfalls only constitute more causes for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness. Om Agyan Tirinandasya Gyanajana Shalakya Chakshunamritamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my humble obeisances unto my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has opened my darkened eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. So, this is a shloka from the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the Song of Gods. The word Bhagavad Gita literally means Song of God. So before we come to God, that is a very a powerful terminology. God. When we say God, it is a very powerful word. It can mean many things to many people. Just like they say that as many people, so many opinions. Everyone has a different relative point of view. And there's a conflict. People, they meet together and debate, and they share their different viewpoints, relative viewpoints of reality. And many times there's clash, there's argument, there's conflict, and sometimes there's war even. So when we speak of God, Krishna, we speak of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Not in the sense that Supreme Absolute, that everyone has to accept it, and if he doesn't accept it, then we're going to kill him, or we're going to punish him, or we're going to mock him, or something like that. No. We should note the word truth, the absolute truth. The truth is self-evident. The lies, they're imposed. Just like someone may tell you that drinking Coca-Cola or eating meat to get sufficient protein is very good. So these kind of lies, they can be imposed. People can be manipulated by these lies for some time, not for all the time. The lie is the temporary manifestation, comes and goes. You can't lie forever. You see, so the truth is self-evident, just like the sun in the sky. No one has to prove the existence of the sun in the sky. It is self-evident. Unless there is sun in the sky, I cannot see myself. You cannot see. Similarly, unless there is God, Supreme Personality, the Supreme Absolute Truth, then we cannot discuss our relative points of view. See? Relative points of view, they can only be relative if they're related to something. So I might have a relative point of view. In the conditional state, I fall into 4 defects of material existence. I commit mistakes. I fall into illusion. I have a tendency to cheat. I have imperfect senses. You also might have a defective vision. But when we understand our limitations, our defects, we understand it on the platform of some non-defective or absolute platform. So that is God. Unless we know something somewhere in subconscious being non-defective, being perfect, being correct, we cannot make the definition of something being defective. That goes against the very law of relativity. So, however, whichever we want to deny God, God is a reality. Even the atheists, why they're trying to deny God? Because God is a reality. Unless God was reality, they wouldn't spend so much time denying God. So, before we come to God, however, we have to come to the realization of myself. Of myself. Who am I? Who am I? Am I a man? Am I a woman? Am I black? Am I white? Am I yellow? Am I Canadian or Slovakian or French? Am I my name? This name I've been given by my parents. Am I that? Am I that? No. That name was given to me. At one point, I didn't have any name. I came out of my mom's womb
As a little baby, I didn't have any name, right? The name was given to me. It's a designation, right? Similarly, Canadian, just because you're born in Canada, that means that you're Canadian. That's what it means. Then what about the cows? The cows are being slaughtered every day for meat in the slaughterhouse to satisfy some whimsical desire of the tongue. They're also Canadian. They're also citizens of Canada. Why you don't protect the cows when they're being killed? So all these are designations. They don't mean anything. They don't pertain to the self. Bhagavad Gita begins with the explanation of the true self. Who am I? This is the first teaching Krishna imparts unto Arjuna. You are not this body. You are not the body. You are spirit soul. You're eternal. Why we're so much disturbed when someone dies? Because we're eternal. I don't want to die. It's a very uncomfortable idea. Now, if you all of a sudden you realize, oh, I have cancer, I'm gonna die, and a doctor's gonna tell you, you're gonna die in 7 days. I'm sorry, we can't do anything. Get ready, you're gonna leave this world in 7 days. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, right? So many things would change in our lives if we knew this. Just imagine, put yourself in this position. From 7 days from now on, I'm going to die. Then your priorities would change immediately. You would find no sense in this mortgage, in this politics, in this nationalism, in this Canadian, in this American, in this black, white, woman, man. All these designations, they're completely useless. And that was the situation pertaining to Arjuna. Arjuna was a fighter, he was a soldier. And he was facing the real problems of life, death. Death is a real problem of life. We try to brush it aside. Oh, come on, think positive, it's okay. But the death is always spying on us. While we enjoy, the death is always spying on us, reminding us, oh, I'm here. Everyone knows it. Deep inside, everyone knows. My clock is ticking. Very soon, I'm going to die. Let me enjoy. Before that moment comes, let me enjoy as much as possible. This is one alternative to life. Let me gratify my senses to the greatest extent. Let me kill the poor animals. Let me kill some people even. Let me earn money. Let me not care about other living entities. Just see the nonsense. People say, I don't care. Even using God. Some people use God. And God has given us this world to enjoy. So we might as well kill the animals for our satisfaction. Because that is God's will. That is what God wants from us. To do this. It's okay. God has given permission. It's okay. This is nonsense. Where God has given this permission? God is our Supreme Father. The animals, as well as we are, His children. If the father, if you kill his son, is he going to be happy? You going to be happy, the father, if you kill your brother? Oh, he's less intelligent. The animals, they have no intelligence, they have no soul. Let me kill them, eat them. Will the father be very happy? No. So this is the real problem. Death. But I will not be able to understand this real problem if I continue committing sinful activities. Sinful activities means that I gratify my senses and someone else has to pay the price. Someone else has to pay the price. It is not that simply I enjoy. Why are you restricting me? This is very natural. Why are you restricting me in illicit sex life? Why are you restricting me in meat eating? Why are you restricting me in intoxication? It is not blind. It is not some kind of a dogma. It's very scientific. The law of karma exists. People are lamenting why God has allowed this. There's great misery here. So many problems. Why God is allowing? That there is no God. There cannot be any God because God is all good. So if God punishes innocent people by sending a tornado or a flood or something, if an innocent person is killed by a robber, then that God is crazy God. And God doesn't exist. So they do not know that this is going on because everything has a cause. No one is innocent in this world. We have been sent here into this world to be punished. This material body is a form of punishment. It is not for us to enjoy, some people say in this world. What is that enjoyment? What is that enjoyment? You can enjoy a wonderful life, wonderful bank account, wonderful family, and so on and so on. But ultimately, death is going to come. Krishna comes as death. God comes as death. If you don't bow down to God before your death comes, then you will have to, you'll be forced to bow down at the time of death. So I should be a little intelligent. Let me bow down before. I'm bowing down to so many masters. I'm bowing down to my boss. I'm bowing down to my wife. I'm bowing down to my boyfriend, girlfriend, so many grandchild. I bow down to my grandchild. If he wants a horsey, I play a horse for him. So why not God? Why not Krishna? Why is it so difficult to bow down to Krishna? Because we're envious. We're envious of God. This is our original sin. That we have become envious of God, envious of His supreme position of the supreme enjoyer. And we're trying to imitate God as being enjoyers in this world. That is our foolishness. But we cannot be the enjoyers, and that is reminded to us by death. So if you understand like this, that these problems actually, these are not problems. These are hints to awaken us to our true reality, to our true consciousness, spiritual consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit. I am not matter. I am not this body. I am not man. I am not woman. Black, white, ugly, beautiful, rich, poor. I'm none of these things. This is a liberation. I become liberated. Someone who's understanding this. Someone who has realized this practically. By practice, not just theoretically speaking so many things. So I'm not this body. I'm so spiritual and so on and so on. Practically, by following the different rules and regulations, if we want to get liberated from the material existence, it is not so easy job. It is not so easy. I just go to the store and I buy some candies or something like that. It is the most difficult. To extricate myself from the laws of material energy is the most difficult. The Vedic culture is based on this principle. That let me liberate myself from the laws of material energy. The different groups of Vedic practitioners. There is the Karmi. Karmi also. He also wants liberation. In a subtle way. He wants the relief from whatever punishment he's being due to in this material existence. So he's seeking shelter of the higher planets. Higher planets. Just like people from India or Africa or some third world countries they call it. They're trying to get to Canada. Just like now there's the immigration problem, something like the refugee, right? So they're trying to come to Canada, a better life. This is like a heavenly planet. So much prosperity, so much security, police, everything works very nicely, technology. This is like a heavenly planet. So they think by adjusting my material situation I'll be relieved. from so many problems. So those are karmis. Karmis in the Vedic culture, this is a very regulated culture, very scientific. The karmis are performing different yagyas, different sacrifices. They worship different demigods who are presiding over these high planets in order to take their birth, their next birth, in the heavenly planets. Heavenly planets, the sense pleasures available in the heavenly planets, they cannot compare. The people who are enjoying here, even in Canada, even in America, very prosperous countries, even Dubai, they cannot compare to the pleasures in the heavenly planets. That we have the information from the Vedas. So these karmis, they're very lusty, they're very greedy, they want to taste these pleasures in the heavenly planets. So they also seek improvement, liberation in this sense. But they're considered to be very low class category, very low class. Karmis are very low class. Because just like you take a water in a copper cup, or you take it in an iron cup, or if you take it in a silver cup or a gold, ultimately it is still water. Doesn't matter. So sense gratification is compared to the a dry stool or a wet stool. Right? A stool, very abominable. So if someone says, oh, actually you have a dry stool, but I have a wet stool, I'm very, very prosperous now. That is craziness, that is foolishness. So more elevated than the karmis are the jnanis. The jnanis, knowledge. They're concerned with knowledge. They try to understand. I've been enjoying this sex life, these senses, for so many lifetimes. So many lifetimes, I'm still not happy. So there must be something higher. Must be something higher than this. There must be a higher purpose in life. What is the use? I'm building a big career, I'm building a big family, big story in this life, and then I die, and again I'm born, and I'm again trying the same thing again. This is foolishness. Isn't this foolishness? Again and again doing the same thing and failing. You try to build something nice, sandcastle, then Krishna comes and says, finished. You finish this. Again you build. And again we try to build, and again Krishna comes. You stop this. And again we try, you stop this. Again we try, you stop this, stop this. And this is how we're going. Bhaunam janmanamante. Birth after birth. Birth after birth. So a jnani is intelligent. He's thinking, what is the use of this? Wait a minute. Someone is trying to tell me here something. This is not the purpose. So he comes to an inquiry. Atatu Brahma Jigyasa. Inquiry about the absolute. Not about the stock market, not about the sex life, Freud philosophy, not about economics, not about Michael Jackson, whatever. Inquire about the real thing. How do I get out of this problem of death? Definitely. See? Arjuna is asking Krishna definite solution to his problems. So he's a jnani. The yogi, another category. He's also trying to get out of the influence of the material laws. How? By trying to gain control over the laws of material energy. That we have no experience here. We're very dull-headed. We think that someone who can walk on the water or flying in the air, this is a fantasy. Very dull-headed, very mechanical thinking, very limited thinking. See? The people in the Middle Ages, if they show them iPhone, they would also think you're crazy. But now it's possible. Now you can talk to your friend through iPhone. You can see him. You can talk to him. A little tiny box. Right? So to think that, oh, only me, only my reality, only in my what I learned in school, that is the ultimate, that is very limited thinking. These yogis, they exist. They can do all kinds of things. There are 8 basic siddhis one can develop by certain practice, certain sadhana. Just like we have our sadhana, chanting Hare Krishna, blissful sadhana, the real sadhana. There are people who have a different sadhana to gain control of the laws of material energy. That is so. Yogi He can control your mind. Simply chant a mantra over the glass of water. He gives you the water. You drink the water, and then he can control your mind. He can create a whole planet if he wants. A yogi. He's so powerful. Can create a whole planet and destroy it in no time. Just like Kardama Muni. When his wife asked him, he manifested the whole planet, and on that planet there was a palace, and they get on the planet that they were traveling, and they were seeing all kinds of things in the universe. So we should not be dull-headed, thinking, oh, this is fantasy, this is imagination, and so on and so on. What do you know? Even such an insignificant lie as the moon landing, you were not able to figure out. Simply playing on TV, how we landed on the moon. Everyone's clapping, everyone is giving tax money to these liars and cheaters. People still believe in this. Yeah, we landed on the moon. Just because it's on TV, they don't question. They don't verify. Simply following like sheep, like animals. It is on TV, it must be true. So we should not be foolish. We should not be dull-headed. These yogis, they exist. But what is the use of such nonsense, yogic cities? What is the use of that? Again, controlling. And again, I want to be God. Again, I want to control. I want to control people's mind. What is the use of that? Control someone's mind. Krishna can control the mind of everyone. But still he doesn't do it. Why? Because he wouldn't enjoy such brainless people doing like that. He wouldn't enjoy it. Krishna enjoys your free will. When you're out of your free will, you surrender. That is why the supreme absolute truth is not absolutely imposed upon us. It is freely given. Krishna, he freely gives himself to us. If we want, he doesn't impose. Quite the opposite. If you want to be a rascal, if you want to deny Krishna, if you deny spiritual life, he gives you all facilities. Yes, you can be out of Hitler now. You can kill so many Jews, as many as you like. No problem. I'll give you that intelligence. I'll give you that intelligence. I give you that satisfaction. Whatever you want, Krishna gives you in due course. He gives you the intelligence how to get into such position. It might take a few lifetimes, but ultimately he gives you that opportunity. He guides you. Ishvara sarabhutanam hridesha arjuna tishtati. Hridesha arjuna tishtati. He resides in the heart. Krishna resides in the heart, and he gives you the intelligence. Now you do like this. Now you do like that. So on, so on, so on. Simply so he can fulfill your whimsical desire. All these desires are whimsical. Why? Because again, they deal with the material energy. So the fourth, the topmost category of a human being is a bhakta, a devotee. A devotee doesn't want to control the material laws of energy. But actually, he is the real controller. Why? Maya Dakshina Prakriti. Because Krishna, he tells Maya, he tells the material energy, now you assist my devotee, you assist him. He's trying to preach my glories all around the world. Now you assist him. Just like Srila Prabhupada has done. Krishna is telling Maya, now you assist my devotee. We should not be discouraged in our Krishna consciousness. Because we should always remember that Krishna is on our side. Krishna, the controller of the material energy. He is the real controller. I am not the controller. Quite the opposite. I am being controlled by material energy every step of my life. But Krishna is the real controller. And because he's the real controller, if I become his devotee, then he tells the material energy to assist me in my spiritual cultivation. In the beginning, Krishna tests his devotee. He actually tells Maya to test. He doesn't want disturbance in the spiritual world. So he tests you. You really want to spiritual life? the Mayas in so many allurements. Now you go on Facebook, you waste time in absorbing yourself in material meditation on material subject matters, fleeting, ephemeral, material energy. You absorb your mind in these rubbish things which are not conducive to spiritual development. You waste your time. So many distractions are there. So many nonsense things. So many allurements. So Krishna tests you. Are you really serious? Okay, let's see. Here's allurements. Some money, some woman, some man, whatever. So if you take it, then you finished. Again you go back. So he doesn't immediately give. That would be very cheap. Just like some people, they approach God to fulfill their material desires. So Krishna is not like that. But ultimately, if I become free from all material desires, then he will actually tell the material energy to assist us. Then the material world actually becomes spiritual. We'll see that actually the material world is spiritual world, because it is all controlled by Krishna. No one can stop the workings of a pure devotee. We should not be foolish to think, now they crucify Lord Jesus Christ. Now they have done it. Now they have killed the representative of God. Now they're more powerful than God. No, we should not be foolish. Krishna is in charge of every single aspect. Sometimes he puts his devotee into a state of suffering in order to teach us about the nature of this material existence. So that is what was going on with Arjuna. Arjuna was also in a state of misery, lamentation, a very, very complicated situation, facing his family in war. So Krishna put him into test in order to show us the nature of this material existence. It's full of misery. Dukkalayam ashashvatam, and temporary. I should not make my home here. Or I should become very serious to get out of here as soon as possible. As soon as possible. The first thing I should understand is I'm not this body. I'm eternal. But I'm so much addicted to the body and to the pleasures of the senses that even after so much hearing about spiritual topics from Jesus, from Buddha, from Prophet Muhammad, from Krishna, still I'm not interested. I'm not serious about awakening my spiritual life. So the first condition in spiritual life is that I should be honest. I should be sincere. Yes, I want to get out of this material existence. And when I become serious, then the symptom is that I'll do anything to awaken my spiritual life. I'll do anything. I will not have any conditions. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. No. Nothing. Shunya. Shunya. Zero material desires. The only desire is, I want to get out of this miserable condition of material existence. That was the attitude of Arjuna. See, he says, I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. He can find no means. No means. Nothing. He has exhausted all the possibilities. If you still think, oh, maybe I can enjoy this material world, then do not approach a bona fide spiritual master. You do not approach spiritual life. You go and you enjoy more. You suffer more. That is good for you. You're not ready. If you try to make business with a spiritual master, oh, spiritual master, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? You have no business with the spiritual master. You get out. You get out, you rascal. You get out and you enjoy, you gratify your senses like all the other animal-like man. You need more kicks from the material energy, more beatings That is necessary. That is necessary. That is also the mercy of Krishna. And He punishes you. So you understand, this place is not actually a very nice place. I'm suffering here. But it is not sufficient that simply I suffer a little bit and then I immediately become enlightened. Many lifetimes of suffering I have to go through. Many times I have to take animal species, animal body. The suffering in an animal body is immense. It's immense. We have no idea. We take this human form as guaranteed. It is not guaranteed. You can also degrade into animal species. And lower than that, plant life, insects, whatever. How come all these species are here? Do not think that I cannot take a body like that. Why not? They're also conscious. You cannot make an ant in a laboratory by a combination of chemicals. That is not possible. Why is he moving around? Why is he creating byproducts? Because there's spirit soul in that body. There's consciousness. That is why. And that consciousness has nothing to do with any material designation. It's like I said in the beginning. Therefore, the conclusion is, I can also take a body like that. See? Consciousness, pure consciousness, is no designation. Because I'm conscious, I feel pain. Because I'm conscious, I feel pleasure. Now if I say, because you have a black body, you feel the pleasure in a black way, then I'm a nonsense. Right? Or you feel pleasure in a white way, you feel pleasure in a Canadian way, you feel pain in a Chinese way, it's a nonsense. Consciousness is consciousness. You are, you are. Body is body, you are, you are. You see? So, why not? I can also take a body of an ant. Yam yam vapi smaram bhamam tajutanti kalivaram tam tam vivaiti kuntiya sadat bhava bhavitaha sadat bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one is absorbed in, that body you will take. If I'm always contemplating sex life, then I might as well take a body of a hawk. See, a hawk is a way much more extravagant sex life. He can have sex life with his mom, with his sister, with his brother, whatever he likes. There's no boundaries, there's no limits. Whatever he likes, he can utilize his sex life in whichever way he likes. So if I'm not careful, if I'm misusing this human form, if I'm a nonsense, if I'm wasting, then Krishna will not give me the human form again. I have to become very serious. This human form is a life of responsibility. Now people have no idea of the law of karma. No idea. What kind of body I'm going to get next. And what does it depend on? What are the conditions? In order to take a body of a human, what I have to do? It is not so cheap that simply by automatic or simply because I want, I will take a body of a human. No. Sadat bhava bhavitaha, according to your absorption. You can cheat others. Oh, I'm very spiritual. You can do that. But Krishna, He can understand your mind. He's there. He's watching. He's watching all this big theater. He's right there next to you. In your mind. He's completely aware of all your psychological movements. You cannot cheat Krishna. So He knows what are you absorbed in. He understands. You cannot cheat Him. And He will give you according to your mentality. He will give you according to the body. So Arjuna, he understands this is a nonsense. Why should I have all these material desires? Why should I desire so many things? Let me desire the real thing. What is that? Let me desire what Krishna desires. That is my true desire. We don't have to give up desires. That is not necessary. Sometimes the jnanis, because they're so much frustrated with the material energy, they say, now I will have no desires. I will finish my existence. I will finish my individuality. I I will finish my personality and I'll merge with God. So that is nonsense. How you can merge with God? You are part and parcel of God eternally. How can you merge with God? You already merge with God. You are part and parcel, just like a sun and the sunshine. The sunshine is part of sun. It doesn't have to merge with the sun. It's already part of the sun. But it is not the sun globe. There's a difference. Sunshine and a sun globe. Similarly, there's the difference. I am a tiny a part and parcel of God. But I am not the supreme God. I am not the supreme Lord. Krishna is the supreme Lord. He controls everything and no one can control him. But I am controlled always. I'm never controller. So when I come to this position that I understand that there's no need of all these material things. And furthermore, if I understand that this denial of everything spiritual, everything that is a form, the Gyanis, they deny the form of God. God doesn't have a form because they immediately think foolishly. I have suffered in this form, in this material relationships, in this material individuality. I've suffered so much. So when Krishna comes, he also must have a form like me. That is nonsense. Avajanati mamuda. Only fools and rascals think like that of Krishna. Krishna's form is spiritual. It is completely pure. And it is eternal. And I also have eternal form. I also, as part and parcel of God, I also have eternal form. So that I have to revive my eternal form. And that is not through the process of denial. Neti. Not this, not this, not this. Everything is material, everything is Maya. But it is positive. It is a positive development. This Bhakti Yoga process is positive development of spiritual service. I want to positively engage in service. Not simply denying, it's all material, it's all now let me go and lock myself in a cave and be there. No. Krishna consciousness is the most positive. It's the most connecting. We connect with everyone. But unfortunately, because people are not ready to come out of the caves, you might have a small cave or you might have a big cave called Canada. There's a big cave only. They're not able to assimilate this Krishna consciousness movement. So this is the qualification to accept a bona fide spiritual master, bona fide spiritual life, and ultimately reach God. Directly understand God directly through realization. I must be service. I must be sincere, and render service. Not challenging. Challenging attitude will not help. What is the proof? And what is it? If you're asking like this, if you need proof of some material facility in exchange for your sacrifice, that means that you're not yet at that position. You have not yet burned out all the possibilities. You have still not understood the real problems of life. You have still been cheated by the material energy. Maybe I can become an enjoyer. That has to be finished. If I have an ego, I'm a very important personality, and everyone should fulfill my desires, then I'm not qualified to accept a bona fide spiritual master. See, Arjuna was not such a rascal, such a fool. He was completely aware. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to destroy it even if I win an unrivaled kingdom on the earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. He was completely aware of his situation. And in this humble state, he approaches Krishna for guidance. Yes, Krishna. Now you my spiritual master. Now the friendly talks are finished. Now I respect you as superior. In modern world, we're very much eager to establish equality. Equality. It's like there's women liberation movements. Equality. Women should be given the same rights as men. This is equality. Should be equality. Equality here, equality there. So when we speak like this, that one should become a humble servant of Krishna, give up the challenging attitudes, submit, hear, and so this is very unpalatable to the modern mind, very unpalatable. But actually, we should understand that this is for my benefit. Yes, I should not surrender to some nonsense, some half-learned, so-called spiritual master, some upstart with half knowledge. Half knowledge will not do. See, Prabhupada says one has to be 100% realized, Krishna conscious, then he can become a spiritual master. Not that I accept some rascal, some speculator, someone who says that he's God. No. He must be bona fide. Be completely realized. But if I bump into a spiritual master like that, I should also question myself. Am I ready to accept such a 100% a realized soul? Am I ready to do the sacrifice? If I'm not able to do any sacrifice, that means I'm not sincere. I'm not sincere. Just like our spiritual master, he has asked a simple sacrifice. Simple. Not a great sacrifice. See, in the history, there's so many, we have from the Vedic literatures, we have so many examples of different personalities making so many sacrifices. There's, in the Krishna book, there's the one demon. He was offering his own flesh to Lord Shiva. To get some material benediction, he was taking knife, was cutting off from his own flesh, and he was offering in sacrifice. See? So people, they do all kinds of tremendous sacrifices. Our spiritual master asks a simple sacrifice. You chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Whatever you are, chant 24 hours if possible. Chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Is it very difficult? Very pleasant vibration. You chant as much as possible. You chant on and on and on. You chant on the way to the temple. You chant on the way out of the temple. You chant in the bus. You chant in the metro. You chant on your way to work, to school, wherever you are. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very simple. But even that simple sacrifice, I'm not able to do. So unfortunate. People of Kali Yuga, so unfortunate. It's such a simple process, they're not able to undertake. So difficult. A bitter medicine. Rupa Goswami gives the example, just like if you suffer from jaundice, you took a sugar candy, and by taking a sugar candy on and on and on, your jaundice will be ultimately cured. Similarly, the conditioned soul, he's very averse to Krishna. Anything related to Krishna, he's very averse or very envious. We've come here into this world because we don't want to serve Krishna, we want to fight against Krishna. So to chant his name in glorification is very, very difficult for us. But somehow or other, if we have the opportunity to chant, we should take full advantage. This center here is not for any other purpose, simply to give people a chance to chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If you're not able to chant on your own, if it's difficult, if you're not able to come to that level of seriousness, you come here, you get a spiritual inspiration. What is a Krishna conscious temple? What is a temple? What is a church? What is a mosque? What is it for? It's a place where people with spiritual interests, they congregate there. And it creates a very auspicious energy, very auspicious atmosphere. Just like whatever you do, you go to Concordia University. Why? Why you go there? Because the atmosphere is conducive to education. If people go there, they all study, they all read, they all debate about topics related to education. Similarly, in spiritual circles, provided it is real spiritual circle, nonsense people are also taking advantage of spiritual places. They think it's a social place. It's a place to gratify my senses. It's a place to make some business deals. Right? Just like this example, Lord Jesus Christ. How He kicked out all these nonsense people from the temple, from the big temple. He created a big disturbance. He started smashing all these tables where the animal sacrifice, where they're trying to do animal sacrifice, to kill the animals. Lord Jesus Christ was very much against this. The animal sacrifice. That's why He kicked them out. You're killing the poor animals simply for some pleasure of the tongue, and He tried to justify by God your sinful activities. You see? But provided the temple is a place where genuine devotees come, it can very much enthuse us. It can very much enthuse us. See, we can't do everything on our own. That is another foolish idea. You're independent. Everything, you have your Facebook, you have your iPhone, you have your this, you're the master. You don't need anyone else. Foolish idea. I need so many people. In order to learn to speak, I need my mom, my father. I need the teacher in school. So many people I need. So why should I give up? Let me take advantage. Let me take advantage. If I can get help, let me take advantage. That is not a weakness. That is not a less intelligence. That is the most intelligence. I am struggling so hard. I'm not able to solve the problems of death, birth, old age, disease. Let me take advantage. Let me take some help. Let me take some assistance. So this place, provided it is filled up with genuine devotees who want to actually solve this problem, who are burned out with these silly ideas of social life, a material life, money, matters, and so on and so on. It can create a very nice incentive that although I am weak, in strong association I become very powerful, very strong, very determined. I become sincere. I become sincere. Seeing the sincere example of genuine saints. So a very simple sacrifice. You chant the Hare Krishna mantra and you take prasadam. You take the foodstuff offered with love and devotion to Krishna. Just like Ramachandra Prabhuji. He just offered some nice offering. He was cooking for Krishna all day. And now he is offered to his Lord. So after Krishna takes this wonderful preparation, his devotees, they cook for him. He leaves for us, so we can also taste from his remnants. He becomes very much surcharged with spiritual potency, such foodstuff. It is not ordinary. Prasadam is not ordinary foodstuff. Simply I take some rubbish in a restaurant and now prasadam no, it is not equal platform. This foodstuff has been tasted by God. You might believe it, you might not believe it. That is not our problem. You might not believe it. That is your problem. You go to hell. We are actually benefited so much by this process. We've given up so many sinful habits. We've become free from so many material association. We actually have the actual experience of how wonderful this process is. You can speak whatever you want. You will not be able to convince us because we are actually tasting the realized knowledge. It's a realized knowledge. And it is so nice. So many preparations. We cook the best for Krishna. So you make this one sacrifice. You simply chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And you simply speak of Krishna. Don't speak of rubbish. Don't speak of things which are not related to Krishna. Don't do it. Why? Because by doing it, you will contaminate yourself, your own consciousness, with material thoughts. Then at the last point of death, you will think of these inconvenient things and you will take your birth accordingly. So don't waste your time. Don't sacrifice your consciousness to these material entanglements, material engagements. Take full advantage. You simply speak of Krishna, talk of Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Don't chant about anything else. Don't chant mundane sounds. Don't speak of mundane topics. Don't involve yourself in mundane association, karmi association, nonsensical association. Even the family members, if they're not favorable to discussing spiritual life, you give up that association. It will not help you. There's so many families we had before. What is the use? How they've helped us? We're still here. We're still suffering from death, from birth, from old age, from disease. Still suffering. So many mothers, so many fathers we had before. They were not able to help us. Now you remember who was your father, your mother, your brother, your sister in your previous life? You remember? You don't remember. They're all lost. They're all gone. You don't even know who they were. Similarly, this family you have now, it will be forgotten. That bond will be cut. So let us do it voluntarily now. For a higher purpose, higher spiritual realization. That is my real family, God, our Father.